my hard-boiled eggs in the Instant Pot when it's so easy to make on the stove? Now, you might be asking yourself this question if you are not an Instant Pot user yourself. However, I'm here to tell you that if you have an Instant Pot, this is the only way to go to make hard-boiled eggs. Today, I'm going to do a side-by-side test, and I'll share with you why it's so much better to do your hard-boiled eggs in the Instant Pot. So let's get started. Let's start out with the stovetop eggs. I'm using the New York Times recipe for perfect hard-boiled eggs, which I'm sure they really are. Something I'm going to do kind of a side-by-side comparison test is to time how long it takes. So I'm going to use my little ThermoWorks time stick. To start, we're going to turn on our time stick. So I'll just start the timer. So this is counting up, and we'll set this aside. Next, the method says to put your eggs, however many you have, in the bottom of a heavy pot and to cover with water by 1 inch. So it's not quite an inch. Let's add a little bit more. Okay, perfect. The New York Times method also says to add a teaspoon of salt to the water. Apparently it helps coagulate the eggs should they break open. Now it says to turn to high and wait until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you're supposed to turn off the heat and cover the pan with a lid. All right, it's been just about 16 minutes and the eggs are just starting to simmer, and hopefully they will be boiling soon. I'd say this is a gentle boil, so now I'm going to turn off the heat and put on the lid for 10 minutes like it says. In the meantime, I want to do our Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs, so we're going to start a timer. I'm using my ThermoWorks time stack, and this is really nice because you can actually record your voice on here. So if you're timing something up or counting something down, you can do multiple timers on here and record your voice, so you can say, make sure to, take the rolls out of the oven, or go check on your kids, or something like that for each one of these. So we are going to start. This is going to start counting up, and we'll start making our eggs. So to start, I've got my 6 eggs in a basket. We're going to just put them in the Instant Pot. If you don't have a steamer basket, that's completely fine. Just use the trivet that came with your Instant Pot. It's the little grate that goes into the pot that keeps things off of the bottom. And unlike making hard-boiled eggs on the stove, you just need 1 cup of water for this. You do not need to submerge your eggs in the pot. You just do enough water so it can come to pressure. I'm not going to explain a whole lot about my 215 method, but you can watch this video here where I tell you every single technical aspect about this tried and true method. It's the absolute best way to make Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs, better than any other method that you're going to find on the internet. Now we'll put the lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure that the knob is in the sealing position, not venting, the sealing position. Now press the manual or the pressure cook button and adjust to 2 minutes. You want to make sure that it's 2 minutes on high pressure and that the keep warm button is on. You can see that there's a little light on there, and that means it's on. If that button is not on when you press the manual button, then you need to make sure it's on. Otherwise, you will not have the lapse time show up on your Instant Pot. It will just turn off as soon as the pressure cooking is done. It's been 10 minutes, so we're going to grab our eggs out of the pot. They say to run them under cold water for 1 minute. I mean, they're still pretty warm, but it said to run them under cold water for 1 minute and then let them cool at room temperature. I'm feeling a little impatient, so I'm going to pull them at 13 minutes. That will just make them a little bit more tender. I say 13 to 15 minutes. By this point, the pin has dropped. Oh my gosh. And it's that easy. Now I just take this and I run this under cold running water, and then I usually like to let it soak in an ice bath for about 10 minutes to shock the eggs and to make sure that they are fully cooled down. So far it has been 22 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good on time. Let's test out our eggs. So this is the New York Times hard-boiled egg, and it's still warm. This one's cooled, it's chilled. So we are going to do a little crack test. I always do tap, tap, turn, tap, tap again. And then what you do is you take 2 or 3 fingers and then just gently apply some pressure and roll. It was a lot easier to peel as well. Now we are going to slice into them. Okay, that looks good. And then this is the Instant Pot egg. What's the difference between an overcooked egg and a perfectly cooked hard-boiled egg? So an overcooked egg is going to, 1, be very tough, and 2, the most telltale thing about it is that there's going to be a gray ring around the yolk. Sometimes it's like purpley or gray or blue or black if it's really overcooked, but that's how you can tell that an egg is overcooked. So, I mean, my whole life I just thought that's what hard-boiled eggs were like, but no, it's just because they were not cooked correctly. So a perfectly cooked hard-boiled egg like this one has a soft and tender white. It's springy, it's not rubbery, and then the yolk in the middle is creamy and soft. It's not chalky and falling apart and crumbling all over the place. I mean, peeling them alone, like peeling them, the Instant Pot one was so much easier, but picking them up, you can tell a super noticeable difference. So the Instant Pot egg just feels like soft, like it feels tender, like a marshmallow. The hard-boiled egg that we did on the stovetop, it's like a harder marshmallow. So it's just like a little bit tougher. The yolks look pretty similar, which I'm actually kind of surprised about because the stovetop eggs were cooking for so much longer, but we're just gonna do a quick little taste test. So this is the stovetop egg.
Oops.
I just dropped the yolk everywhere. Oh well, that's fine. I'll clean it up. Okay, it's an egg. It's good. The yolk is pretty creamy, a touch of chalkiness, and this is the Instant Pot egg. Okay, I'm not just saying this because this is my video and I love Instant Pots. The Instant Pot egg is so much better. The white is cooked all the way, but it's very soft. It's very tender. You can eat it all in one bite. The yolk and the egg white don't like separate because the yolk is so chalky. The yolk in this one it's really creamy. Like it doesn't taste so chalky and kind of tough. This is a perfect egg. Now, mind you, the stovetop eggs took an hour to be done. 1 hour. And the Instant Pot eggs took 30 minutes start to finish. That alone is a huge time savings. And okay, I do think that it was weird that my burner took so long to boil the water, but that is the burner that I make all my videos on. It's a commercial grade burner. So I know that it's not like weak, it works really well. So I'm just testing it the same way if you guys were testing it at home. But even if it didn't take quite as long on my stove top here as opposed to the burner, there's no guesswork involved. So with the New York Times eggs, they said when it comes to a gentle boil, then you put on the lid and you let it sit for 10 minutes. I just feel like that gentle boil could be so subjective to anyone. And some people might think it's a rolling boil or a simmer. And so when you do it in the Instant Pot, it's just fast, it's easy, and it's foolproof because you just put in 2 minutes, then you wait 13 to 15 minutes, and then you take them out, put them in an ice bath, and then you enjoy your eggs. You don't have to be guessing. You don't have to be wondering if your eggs are going to be overcooked or if they're going to be perfect, which they're always going to be perfect using my method. Some of the other things to consider is that doing the eggs on the stove top, you have to fill that whole pot with water. So you have a whole pot of boiling water that you have to get rid of, that you have to clean up, that you have to wait to come to a boil, whereas the Instant Pot is 1 cup of water. I think that is so much better because 1, you're not using more water, 2, it's just easier, it's safer because you don't have to deal with all of that boiling water, and like I said, it's pretty much foolproof. They work this way every single time and you don't have to guess. So if you're still making eggs on the stovetop, I please beg and urge you to use the Instant Pot. I promise it will be so much easier, simpler, and it's faster as well. So that's my comprehensive Instant Pot versus stovetop test. Tell me what you think. If you have a better foolproof method, leave it in the comments. Okay, I told you it was easy, right? And it's so much better than doing it on the stove. So I hope that you use my method next time. I've tested this a million times. It always turns out, and the reviews on this are perfect. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and watch this video next, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.